We can't hear you. Are you on mute? We cannot hear you.
We can't hear you, sister.
Hello, can you hear? Yeah. Okay. Tonight's session is on the karma of conversation, the impact of gossip, and the impact of our words. But before we go into a more detailed exploration of the power of our words and the impact of gossip, maybe first some general understanding of karma. This is a word that has become quite popular lately, even in non-Indian society. And it is used and misused, I think, this word, used to create maybe even fear, but definitely it could be used with misunderstanding or wrong understanding. And so it is very useful for us to know, to at least the broad understanding of karma. So maybe I could ask, when you hear the word karma, what do you think? Past lives. Past lives. Okay. Past lives.
The impact of our actions.
The impact of our actions. Kar means hand. Karma, action. That's what you perform with action. But when people say this is your karma, they don't mean your hands. So, what is the broader understanding of karma? Anyone else want to say, what do you think when you hear this word?
Thoughts.
Thoughts? Anything special about thoughts?
The intention of the thought.
The intention of thoughts? Okay.
It's like they say, what goes around comes around.
What goes around
comes around. What you do, you get that back.
What you do, you get that back. You think?
Moral score.
A moral score. Okay. Very good. Any other thoughts? And someone says, that's your karma, or this is my karma. Do they mean positive or negative?
Can be both. It's neutral. Yeah.
Can be both. Good. Someone is writing. You can read.
Results of action.
Results of actions. Anything else? When you hear this word karma, what do you think? Disaster or punishment?
Making sense of things.
Making sense of things. Okay.
Your own actions.
Your own actions. Okay. We'll just try and grasp a bit more broader understanding. And karma is often called also the law of karma. And so there is a law that governs our actions. But how does it work? What does it entail? And what are actions? Because we may say our thoughts can be, how to say, our thoughts can also be said to be actions. The action of the being is a thought, but also how you look at someone. You can look at someone with a certain, with a certain vision. You look down on someone or you look up to someone. So your vision and what your mindset behind the vision, that is also an action. Now, they say, looks can kill. So the way you look at someone or something, that is the action of the being. What we say is also part of our actions. And then, of course, what we physically do with our hands and our limbs, those are also actions. Our attitude, that is also an action of the soul. And so sometimes we may say, oh, I love you, but in my attitude is, I hate you. Or in my thoughts, maybe I hate you, but in front of you, I pretend. So there are different levels of action. And feelings, yeah. Feelings are also actions of the soul, actions of the being. So, sometimes when you watch someone presenting the news, there's a smile on the lip, but the eyes don't smile. And that means the smile is on the face, but thoughts and feelings behind are something different. So all of that makes actions complicated. Now, how do you qualify how do you determine the quality of an action? Let's say, for example, someone says, oh, you are so nice and so kind. How can you say that is a good action or not? It will depend on the intentions behind those words, not just the words itself. Now, or say someone gives a $100 donation. Is that a good action? Is that good karma or not? It will depend on the thoughts and the intentions behind that action, not just the action itself. If you see the action of giving $100, you think, oh, that's a good thing they're giving. But if they're giving to be praised, for example, that their name goes on the building, big, this person donated, or when they come, they want to sit in the front row. Then so that is the intention behind the physical action. That also determines the quality of the action.
The action is bad, but the intent is good.
That is also possible. The intention is good, but the action is bad, or the results of the actions are not as you would have wanted. It also diminishes the quality of your karma. Intention may be good, so that makes something positive on the scale, but the method may not be right. So it doesn't have that, so that diminishes the quality of the karma. So sometimes you come across people who say, I don't believe in this thing karma because I do so many good things, but only bad things come to me. Now, even the selfish attitude behind the action diminishes the quality of the action and diminishes the quality of the result of the action itself. So we shouldn't be thinking too superficially about this law of karma. And the thing with the law of karma is you can't really fake it. You can fake it and deceive everybody else, but you cannot deceive the law of karma. So this whole thing about fake it until you make it, it doesn't really work. Not with karma. Not with karma. And so just to get a sense of action, what level of actions are there? There is the thoughts, and the intentions behind an action. The law of karma works at this level too. So even if we are doing superficially good things, but the thoughts behind are to deceive or to pretend, that diminishes the quality of the action. So the law of karma works on the level of thoughts. It works on the level of your feelings also. What are are there good wishes behind the actions? Are there the feelings of benevolence or the feeling of kindness behind the actions? Words are also actions at which karma functions. I'll give an example of the power of words. This is a story of a king who had a dream. And in his dream, all his teeth fell out. Only one teeth. Only one tooth remain here. It's not a dream, it's more like a nightmare. And he wakes up. And the next night, again, the same dream. 3 nights in a row, the same nightmare. All the teeth fell out. So he became a bit anxious and want to know, what does this dream mean? So he searches the whole kingdom, someone who can tell him. And his advisors tell him, oh, that dream means that your whole family will die. Only you will remain. But everybody will die. So he gets more anxious and he throws his advisors in jail. He said he cannot believe what this dream it means like that. And so he searches and searches and he finds an old man, some ascetic somewhere in a hut in the mountains. He says, I can tell you what your dream means. And he says to the king, your dream means you will be very old. You will be the oldest of your whole family. And he's happy with that answer. And he showers the man with gifts. And I like this story because it illustrates. He's saying the same thing, actually, but just he's choosing different words and it generates a different feeling. Right? And so our words can uplift or can, can push someone or something or ourselves down, depending on the intention behind and the way we use our words. And so depending on what we say and how we say it, and at the right time to say it, that all decides the karma that is created by our words. And because sometimes you can say some things, but it's not the right time to say it. Or sometimes it's not the right person to say it. You know, something goes wrong at work and you go talk to your, your colleague, neighbor, colleague. Oh, see, they never do it wrong and it is always again not wrong. Your colleague is not the person to talk about it. You have to talk to the manager. This is not right. So the same thing you can say, but if you say to the wrong person, it has a different impact, different karma. Now, there are not only words, there are also our actions. What we do, what we don't do, how we do it, how we treat others in terms of our body language, and what we do. Actions towards our own body. How do you treat your own body? All of that has consequences, has results, and has a return is a better word. Everything we put out, there is a return for that. And the quality of the return depends on the quality that I put out. Now, one simple way to understand it also is with seeds. And if you sow seeds, sooner or later there will be a plant and there will be flowers or fruits. But if you plant tomato, you cannot expect mango. If you put in what is it, eggplant seeds, you cannot expect coconut. So the seed decides what kind of fruit you will get. So same with your thoughts, your words, your actions, your feelings, your interactions also. How you interact, with whom you interact, it all has a certain effect. But there are things before our conscious thoughts. There are our intentions. Is our vision. There is our perspective. There's our awareness of self, awareness of the world and our perspective on life in general. The love karma also operates on these levels. That is our attitude. Our attitude generates vibrations. And these vibrations create an atmosphere. And the atmosphere impacts others also. And that comes back to you. Now, sometimes you come into a place and it is quiet and peaceful. It's because of the vibrations that are generated there by the thoughts people have, the feelings people have in that space. Sometimes you come in a space and there's tension in the atmosphere because they're always fighting and backbiting and gossiping, and you feel it in the atmosphere. Your vibrations come from your attitude and your inner actions, you could say, and it creates an atmosphere. And it influences you and it influences everyone who comes into that atmosphere. So if you go home later, just feel what is the atmosphere in my apartment, for example. What are the vibrations created there? And the feelings. Because that is what you nurture yourself with also in your living space. You want to say anything?
Like, if you're unaware, or if you have good intentions, but you're ignorant, how does that impact your karma?
Yeah. So this is a little bit what Gia was saying. No? You have good intentions, but still the result is we need to know, we need to do both. To really be on top of the game of karma, so to speak. The good intentions are important, but also the right method. So being ignorant is no reason, how to say, is still has its impact. Now, for example, say someone comes from the Amazon jungle, comes and walks in New York, has never seen street lights, traffic lights. So he looks at the green and he thinks, oh, that's nice. And orange he thinks is nice. And his red he thinks, oh, that's nice. And then he crosses. That's not to cross. But he doesn't know. So he has no bad intentions, but he doesn't know the system. There will still be consequences. He's crossing, he's making a mistake. And some car might even hit him. So good intentions are important, but we also need to know the right method. It is both combined. Head and heart both need to be in the right space. And that is very useful to know, because sometimes people say, oh, I don't have bad intentions. Great, commendable, but you have to also find out the right method to say things, the right method to do things. Because there are, even in court, if a gun was fired accidentally, the punishment is less, but still there are consequences. A child kills the dog because the gun goes off. Dog is still dead. Child didn't mean to, but there are still consequences. So even if we have the right intentions, but the wrong method, it's not the highest result we will get. And that is why it is useful and actually important for us to find out who we are, what life is all about, what the dynamics of life are, and how this karma works. Now, one way to understand karma, one approach that helps us understand karma is that karma is like a balancing force. Karma is a force in the universe that wants us to be our best and to experience the best. No? It wants you to experience comfort, wants you to experience the best life has to offer. But as we said, we cannot just sit and expect that and demand that. There has to be certain actions connected to that. And for example, nature offers us fire. There is this phenomena of fire. And you can make a big barbecue, or you can make all kinds of things you can do with fire. And because of fire, there is hot water, there is fire in your coffee is because there is heating. So fire is a good thing in this world. And if there is fire here, it is beautiful. You can look at the flames and there is warmth coming from the fire. So fire is a phenomenon that has its benefits. But you need to know how to treat the fire, isn't it? You cannot go and sit on the fire. Well, you can, but you won't be very happy and you will not be very comfortable. Why is that?
It's not what you're supposed to do.
Exactly, it's not what fire is for. Fire has its manual, and if you treat it by the manual, it gives comfort. But if you break the manual, if you break the rules of fire, then it will give you
Distraction.
pain. Oh, very good. It will give you discomfort and pain. Now, why does the pain exist? Is it too cold? Okay, when it gets too hot, you just let me know. You need some fire. Okay, so why is this pain there? Yeah, pain is a signal. It is a warning that you are doing something that is not in line with what is natural. That is not in line with the forces of benevolence and comfort. And because you are breaking the rules, then this nature has to warn you and tell you, whoa, 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 this is not the right position. This is not the right way to deal with fire. But we can ignore the pain. You go get some Tylenol and swallow, have a bottle of Tylenol, and you can take some whiskey and drink and put on the television loud, get distracted, but you keep your hand in the fire. What will happen? Yeah, the danger becomes worse and worse and worse. You might lose your hand, you might lose your arm, you might ultimately end up burning the whole body. So the pain and the danger increases if we don't listen to the signal. Now, all of this is karma. You're doing an action that is against the rules of benevolence, against the rules of comfort. Because you have this phenomena that is called free will. You can do what you want. Fire is fire, and you can do what you want. You can sit on it, you can jump on it, you can sit next to it, you can walk away from it. You have the choice. You have the free will to do what you want. But the physical universe has these guiding factors so that you don't bring harm to yourself and others by using your free will in an ignorant way. And the nature cannot talk, the fire cannot talk, but fire can give you pain. And that pain is nature's way to tell you, whoa, wait a minute, there is danger. Change your position, change your perspective, change your actions. So you could also say karma is the way nature and the physical universe talks to us. The problem with us is that we can be stubborn. We don't listen, or we think we know it all, or we challenge nature instead of learning. And this is where sometimes problems come in. And this is unfortunate for us ultimately. Now, and like we have said, so to simplify this, is there is a manual for everything. And we may not know the manual, but we should find out. And if we break the manual, then in some form of another, discomfort will come in. And discomfort can lead to pain until we change our position. Now, for another simple example, if you take your foot and you put it in your neck, what will happen? Achal, what will happen? It might not even reach. But the pain in your back thigh will tell you this is not very clever. Put your foot down. That is not a natural position for your body to be in. But if you put your foot down, you're comfortable. No problem. This is the right position for the body. Sitting or standing or lying down, but not foot in the neck. That is not the natural position. And pain tells you, change your position. Don't get these funny ideas. Don't break the manual of your body. And the body is one thing, and this is a simple example, but also car. A car has its manual. And you put gasoline as fuel. You don't put ketchup in there. If you put ketchup in there, what will happen? It will break. The whole car, it will not function. Or car can do many things for you, and it can take you upstate and wherever. You can travel to Mexico by car, whatever. But you cannot take your car to swim in the Hudson River. It's not meant for that. And if you still insist to do that, it will break. And you can't experience the benefit that the car otherwise could give you. And so there are many things in this world that have their manual. Your mind itself has a manual. And if you misuse your mind, it will break down, just like the car. If you use your mind for stress and overthinking and hatred and revenge, sooner or later, what will happen? Some cognitive decline. Is one way that nature might try to tell you that is not the way to use your brain. That's not the way to use your mind. There's karma with money. There is a way to use wealth. And if we misuse it, there are fruits, there are results. There is a manual for relationships. There is a manual for interactions with colleagues, with neighbors, with friends, with family. If we break those rules, there will be complications. Now, gossip is one big way of breaking the rules of relationships. And we do not necessarily realize the impact of it. Life is meant for harmony, and nature wants us to go about life and interact with each other with a certain level of harmony. And gossip doesn't have, in the manual is not mentioned gossip. So if we do gossip, we go against the forces of benevolence. And it creates a result and a return. Can you close the door? The workers have come. So what would be the result, for example, if you speak? So say this is Judy. This is Sandra. And this is, can find another name, Angela. So Judy talks to Sandra about Angela. I'm just giving simplified example. And she talks not so nicely about Angela. She is arrogant, and Angela tries to, what is it? How do you call that when she tried to please the boss to get something? What is the word for that?
Brown noser.
Huh? Brown noser? Brown noser, okay.
People pleaser.
People please, not a people pleaser.
Appease.
Huh?
Appease.
Yeah, but she kind of manipulative. No, so Judy says Angela's manipulative. She's trying to show off in front of the boss, but when boss turns his back, she just. So Judy says all kind of things about Angela. So what happens in that dynamic? Angela is gossiping to Sandra. what is happening. Just to break it down. First of all, Judy herself is not in a state of peace. She is creating all these negative thoughts and negative words. So what will be the condition of Judy's mind at that moment?
Negativity.
Yeah, weak and negative and not very pleasant. So she is experiencing that unpleasantness in her own mind. So the immediate result of her own actions are on herself. Her own mind is not in harmony. Her own mind is not experiencing love at that moment. Her own mind is not experiencing peace. So she is the first one who is experiencing the backlash of her gossiping inside of her. She's not having feelings of love and abundance and benevolence and harmony. So her doing that action, the first one to impact that is herself. And that is the condition of her mind. So what will happen? That mind will create a certain, what is it? Vibe that will affect her body. The harmony and the physiology, she will not have dopamine and serotonin high. Actually, it will come down. So, and her whole physiology of the body will not be positive either. So she's doing harm to her own mind, she's doing harm to her own body. No? And she is creating a certain vibe. And that vibe goes into the atmosphere. That is not beneficial for herself to be in an atmosphere and surroundings like that. Always complaining or gossiping. That is not useful for herself. So the karmic results of our actions are many, not just one or two. There are many levels on which it backlashes on me. Now the second thing is, she is telling Sandra. So she's also bringing down the state of the mind of Sandra. Now it depends on Sandra's habits. She likes to listen, gossip, and add a bit to it, or she doesn't. Depending on what is her wisdom or not, there will be some interaction. But her gift, as it is to Sandra, is one of negativity. So what will that provoke in Sandra? Sandra will, whether she joins the gossip or not, Sandra will feel you can't really trust her. Maybe she will also gossip, but still in her mind she will know this is someone who's gossiped. I cannot tell her my secrets. And I have to be careful with her. Even though she may join in the thing, she will still, so gossiping will not create a close friendship here. And an intimate, deep quality friendship. They may be together all the time gossiping. That's a different thing. But a deep trust and a quality of love and understanding will not grow at this level. So what Judy maybe deeper inside longs for is attention and love and a good quality relationship. Her own actions are pushing that far away. No. Would you want to be close friends with someone all the time gossiping? You'll be very careful. Because and even if you are close because of for whatever reason with someone, but deeper inside your heart doesn't trust. Now, point is, Judy herself might not trust herself because she might not like her habits even. But she's subservient to her own habits. So Judy's self-respect will not be high. Because deeper inside, she will not even really like her own actions. And because a high sense of self-respect, self-confidence comes from good quality actions in the past. Others cannot trust her, but she cannot trust herself. All of this is karma. But we don't think about these things. And we just venture into things and talk and say and do things without realizing. At all levels, karma works. And then we feel low self-respect or no confidence, but it is based on the quality of our actions from the past. What have we done for ourselves to respect ourselves? And it doesn't have to do with some big monument or some big project famous. It has to do with these little everyday actions, everyday interactions with people. A sense of respect for self and our behavior. It has to do with those little things. Now, Sandra's mind comes down by the gossiping. And if she joins in it, even more so. So Sandra gossips back to Judy. What will that do to Judy? Bring her mind further down. Bring her vibes and thoughts and feelings and attitude even further down. So it becomes a back and forth that will make the whole atmosphere heavy. And what will Angela walks in? What happens? Silence.
Heavy silence.
Heavy silence. And Angela knows they have been talking about me. Most probably. Often it is like that. So will Angela now trust them? No. Angela, without even having heard, she will feel something off here. And then at night, Judy goes home, she can't sleep. She feels lonely. She feels heavy. Maybe I'm just the hypothetical situation, but just to give you, let us have an idea of consequences of what we say, how we say. And then we want quality of relationships. We want people to love us. We want to love people. We want to have an environment of harmony. How can that be if we do? If we carry these thoughts and feelings for others. Now, let us say, even if Angela truly is arrogant, even if Angela truly is manipulative and truly is pretending in front of the boss, even if it is true, Judy and Sandra talking about it will still generate that same atmosphere. Because Sandra is not the person to talk to about that. If at all, she needs to talk to someone about it. It is to Angela herself. Isn't it? The karma of conversations. Now, Judy can also say, maybe Angela has some not so good traits, but there are also many good traits that are there. Or she can just decide not to talk about Angela at all. Or to mention some qualities or something positive. Who will feel good if she talks positively? She herself will feel good. She herself will have uplifting vibe. And she will help Sandra also to have an uplifting vibe. And even if Angela is super nasty, them gossiping about it doesn't resolve anything. It might even make it worse. Because for Angela to be like that is because there's some insecurity in there, some ego is in there, some limited perspective. Now, in an atmosphere created by gossip, it will only make her more insecure. It will only make her more arrogant. But if there is an atmosphere created of warmth and kindness, of cooperation, there are more chances that she relaxes and not need to resort to those manipulative tendencies to feel secure or to pretend or to aim to feel secure. Now, this is just a hypothetical example. But I'm sure we all have situations like this in our family, in our work, in our friends. You know, especially if you have big families and siblings and aunts and cousins and uncles, and there's always something going on somewhere. Someone does something and others talking about it. For yourself, what is the best strategy?
Just don't talk negatively about anybody.
Yeah. Or see their specialities, appreciate their specialities. And even if there is none, then you can still bring in words of upliftment or words of harmony. Instead of bringing the atmosphere down, let me contribute something uplifting. That will help everyone. And then nature, the dynamics of human life will be such that it will cooperate with you. What will come back to you will be pleasant. And sometimes people say, oh, why I'm having such bad luck. Everything always goes wrong for me, and I'm not doing anything wrong. Maybe we are not aware. Maybe, I think most of the time we are not aware of the impact of our simple, basic actions, the words we speak, the way we look at people, the attitude we hold. Just walking down the street on Fifth Avenue, do I walk with scorning everybody? Or, all these people and this beggar? Or, I can walk with this inner commentary that is criticizing and negative and defamatory even. Or I can walk with a neutral attitude. Or I can even walk appreciating such variety of human beings, everyone their own story, everyone doing their best to make it. I can even walk with a spiritual mindset. All of us are souls. We all belong to the Supreme Soul. We are brothers as spiritual beings. Such a huge family of beings who are all playing this game of human life. It's a very different attitude and vision. Karma works on all of these levels. And so we can gossip with our mouth, but we can gossip with our thoughts also. And it also has an impact. So you want to have interactions and relationships of quality. We want to have a sense of self-respect and self-confidence. So what are the actions we perform that brings that back to us? Nothing comes for nothing, no? You want to say anything? Ask anything?
What is the objective truth that should guide you in moral dilemmas of gray areas of life? Like I know you said that karma works at many levels. So, what should be the guiding force, or what should be the manual in those situations?
Yeah. It's a very good question, no? Because sometimes people will say, but what is right, what is wrong? That kind of a thing. Or there is no right, there is no wrong. From a spiritual perspective, the standard would be what is beneficial for everyone involved, now and in the future. What brings benefit? And then even in benefit, you can say, okay, there is spiritual benefit or worldly benefit, but still, this is a good yardstick. Judy has this knowledge. Okay, Angela's like this, like this, like this. Should I talk about it or not? What does it matter if I talk about it? But if she thinks, what would be the consequences of this? And is this beneficial for myself, for Sandra, and for Angela, now or in the future? And she will know. Better to not speak. So this is one way to check for yourself. Is this beneficial? Does this bring benefit at a physical level and maybe even at a spiritual level if you are so inclined to go to that level? For me, for everyone involved, now and in the future. That is a good yardstick. Native Americans, the Aboriginal American, the tribes, one of the systems many of the tribes used to have is when they need to take big decisions for the tribe, for the group, for the village, they will all come together and they will talk about what to do, and they will reflect on what the consequences are for 7 generations to come.
Wow.
Should they move to Canada or something? Should they go up north or not? Should they leave this area and go live somewhere else? What would be the consequences of that? 7 generations ahead. I'm not saying that you can necessarily do that for every action, But it is a good way of thinking. It is not about what I like right now here, because there are ignoble, there are what is it? Negative tendencies within me, like laziness or like indulgence and whatever. I should not indulge in that. That is not good for me, not for anyone else. So let us reflect. It's not about I like this right now and I feel good, but tomorrow you have headache. And day after tomorrow, 10 other people have headache and a heartache. Then what was this pleasure, what I'm feeling right now? So I will be experiencing pleasure now, but I will repent 2-3 days later, and maybe many others also. What have I done? And if I do like that, how will I have self-respect and have a good vision of myself? So that is one way how I do. If I am, in a alert state, and I will think, okay, what will be the impact of this for myself and for others around me, now and in the future? 7 generations to come is, but I mean, I like the thinking is very useful. Now, one time there was this patient that I had. She always used to get headache. And at some stage, she discovered that when she eats banana, she will get headache. And somehow, at some stage, she discovered. So for a while, she stopped eating, but then she decided, I will eat banana and just take Tylenol. Because we sometimes do not have the wisdom to truly see the future. So at least next time when we speak, especially in social gatherings, be careful. What am I creating? What am I setting?
For my questions.
Yeah.
Well, two questions. One is like if you can emphasize more on timing of things.
Yeah.
And the second one is, you may have answered it already. It's like depression. When it's not, like when the person hasn't really done anything wrong and they're just depressed and
Depressed state. Yeah, and actually, we do not have time to properly go into these questions. So another time we will address it more in depth. But few things is timing is very important also, because sometimes we say things that are not bad, but it's not the right moment. And there also we should see, if I say this now, will it have is the other person in a state to take it in the right way or not? If not, we should also not say. One aspect of depression, before in traditional therapy, one of the advice that depressed people would get is do at least once a day a selfless action for the benefit of someone else. So a charitable action, but where there is no gain for the self, because it raises our sense of I did good. And sometimes we didn't do anything bad, but what good have we done? What have we used our life and our time and our skills and our abilities for? Because we all come with gifts, but if we don't use those gifts and so just sit on it, how will we feel good about ourselves? To use our talents for others also, to play the game of human life. And so one reason of depression, one angle, there are many other factors, but one angle is quality of actions. Using your life for quality actions, you will feel proud of yourself. Okay, we have to close because also the workers want to start. Let's have a minute of silence. Shanti, thank you. Just a special invitation. Next Thursday, we are having a special guest. Sister Luciana from Brazil will be here, and there will be a conversation on the power to say no when needed, and the power, no, and without guilt, and the power to say yes. And there's a conversation with Anita Cheney. So you're all invited, and next Saturday, not coming Saturday, but the next week Saturday, there is a mini retreat with Ken O'Donnell. He is also the coordinator of the Brahma Kumaris in Brazil, and someone with more than 50 years meditation experience and trains in managing leadership trainings in big companies all across the world. So we will have him for a mini retreat. So, but that is in person. The mini retreat is in person only. So most welcome. And so not just think before you act, but think before you talk. Okay. Welcome.